Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to a brand new vlog. It's Tuesday today and I just thought I would pop on here for a quick update because a few things happened today that I just want to talk about. So before I get too far into any details, let's roll the intro. Alright, so today is Tuesday, September 9th. I only wrote the date like 4 or 5 times today and I still don't remember what it is. So today was quite, was kind of busy this morning and then relaxed a little bit in this afternoon, which was kind of nice because I had a really, really long day yesterday. I didn't vlog any of it because I really just didn't have the time to like pick up the camera and do any vlogging. And I spent so much time doing work last night to prepare for an open book quiz this morning. So when I have open book quizzes, what I do, or what I have done, is prepare a PDF document so that I can easily search in my notes for anything that comes up during the test because you can use whatever resources you need to. So I did the same thing that I did last year, and it took me like probably 4 hours to make this document. I went to use it this morning, it was gone. That's another story for another time. So I'm glad that I'm using what I'm using this year, which is there's a search function actually on the app that I use for my notes. And I'm glad I had that today because otherwise I would have been a little lost on what to do because I was able to at least find the stuff I needed to. Did really, really well on that quiz, so I'm really happy with that. We also had our first lab today, so yesterday was also a few hours of doing the pre-lab for that. We have 2 labs every week in the program, so that's different from how it is in university or how it was different from my programs in university where all the classes would only have a weekly lab. So if you had your lab at the start of the week, it was actually better in my opinion because you got the lab out of the way and then you just had lecture the rest of the week. So I actually prefer that, having my labs earlier in the week. It's not really in my control in this program, but the labs are usually enjoyable. Today I made a really dumb mistake in my first submission, so that wasn't great and it made me feel really dumb. If any of my classmates or instructors ever have ever or will ever watch this, I take mistakes pretty seriously because I know the implications of it in practice. So it was a little bit of a hard one to swallow today, but I ended up doing just fine on my second prescription. It was fine. I was really upset with myself for the mistake I made because it shouldn't be happening at this point. It was not okay to be making a mistake like that at this point, at least in the program, in my opinion. Like I said, yesterday was a really long day just because of preparing for lab today. I did get about half of the pre-lab done in the time that we were given for it. I'm hoping that as I do more practice, I start to get faster. I'm a little rusty on doing the documentation portion of the lab still, just because it's been a while since we've really had to do much of it. And so it's just a little bit of rust. It's also because I'm doing it differently on my iPad this year, because I didn't have an iPad last year. It's been a lot of it has been learning my shortcuts for the app that I use, which it's coming because I use it all the time. And it was starting to come a little bit faster in my second prescription today. So, but yeah, that needs to get faster because otherwise I won't finish my practical exams in time. So it will come, just some of it was the technology aspect of it. There are pros and cons to being online. The biggest pro, of course, is living expenses are reduced drastically for me. Tomorrow's a big day. I got a math quiz in the morning. Like I said, I've done so much practice for it. I hope I'm ready, but there's just part of me that's just doubting it and I don't know why. I have to admit I'm a little nervous for it. And then pre-lab tomorrow again, and then I have another thing for another class that's a graded activity, so that one shouldn't be too bad. We've had a few different ways to practice, and I did quite well in the practice, so that gives me a good indication going into it that I do know what I'm doing. My actual favorite parts of this program are the pre-lab activities that we do, because it demonstrates to me that I'm aware of what I need to do for the lab. I can make mistakes on that pre-lab activity, make notes about it so that when I see it in the lab, I'm not making the same mistakes, and it's gives me a good idea of whether I know exactly what I'm doing to be able to complete that lab or not. As much work and as much time they take to do, and after a day being in class until 4, it's hard to, you know, continue to want to do those activities, but they're so useful and so beneficial that it makes that time almost more than sometimes the labs do. I love the labs, I just don't like when I make stupid mistakes that shouldn't be happening in the labs, if that makes sense. I think I'm gonna feel better once I get past this math exam tomorrow morning, because I have an idea of what they expect for the must passes, but and to be quite honest with you, I hate doing math exams via computers. Like, part of it is formatting, but part of it is, like, I'd almost rather just do the math quiz on a sheet of paper and submit it and then mark everything every single time rather than just being, oh, your work doesn't matter for this. I almost would rather have it be like the midterms and the final is, where you have to submit everything. And to be quite honest with you, to not use the computer at all. Like, we have to use the sheet that we're given, scan it back to them, and they just mark the entire sheets as it is, like, in that particular format. Like, it doesn't give you anything, any idea whatsoever on how you did on the exam. It's almost worse getting a mark right after you write a math exam like that, especially with the must passes, than it is like to just do the work, submit the work, and then have the instructor mark the whole thing. Because then they know, like, okay, this is what you're thinking and this is what you need to work on. I feel like I should be, like, maybe giving them that feedback. I loved the in person must pass because I had no idea walking out of there. Well, okay, I had an idea based upon how I felt after walking out of there, but I didn't have, like, the computer program tell me this is what you should be expecting or about, and then it'll go down or up from here. Like, that's just where my head was at. I actually preferred the in-person math exam, but that's probably because I've always hated doing math like via computers online. And I mean, if you do make formatting errors and they give you the answer, it's kind of a boost in the way you're feeling, to go from, ooh, that went really badly, and then to see your grade be corrected and moved up. It's kind of a boost, but I don't know. I'd rather just not have the computer involved at all in math and be done with it that way. Anyways, rant over about math and computer exams. Time is really going by really fast now. I kind of figured it probably would, but I just have a feeling that from here on out now, it's probably going to be feel quite quick. And we were kind of warned about that, but you're warned about something and then you actually experience it, and they're two totally different situations, right? All right, hello everybody. So today is Thursday. I just wanted to come on here because I didn't do an update yesterday. Yesterday was a really, really busy day. Had like 2 quizzes and a pre-lab, so I was pretty exhausted by the time the end of the day rolled around. Today has been much better. The only difference is that today's been a constant day of technology struggles again. That's the thing you trade off for being online and in school. I mean, things just not working right, other things just looking funny. Had to deal with a power outage for about a half an hour, 40 minutes of my class this afternoon. I'm gonna do some studying, so I'm gonna show that because I was so tired yesterday. I just needed to get the pre-lab done, so I didn't uh, do any time lapse with that. So I'll show doing some more of the concept maps right away here. But I actually wanted to show my setup because it's a pretty intricate setup when I get everything going. So I'm not gonna like open everything up that I would have, but you'll get the gist of it basically. I have a blanket in here just for comfort's sakes, and it gets all wrapped up in the cords. So here's the setup. So this computer here is what I use for Zoom, which I'm kind of happy about it today because one of the technology glitches I had, I don't know what happened, my computer like shut off briefly. So if I had been on Zoom on that, I would have lost my connection to my Zoom, which wouldn't have been great. Plus, I find, I don't know if this just me with the fact that I'm a little bit biased towards Apple and Mac. I just feel like my Mac works better with a Zoom than my Windows does. I don't know why that is, if it's just because it's more powerful. I have the MacBook Pro for editing. It's the M1 MacBook Pro, so it's the first version. So I'm sure that the new ones are much quicker, but I've had this for quite a few years now. And I absolutely love it. And as long as I use my cleaner software when I'm editing and stuff, it continues to run really awesome. The other thing I have, of course, that you guys have seen in the first video of the year, is my iPad. So I use this to take my notes on. This usually kind of sits right about here just because I write right-handed. Those are my sticky notes. I've been using these to we usually get our info for our prescriptions in the lab verbally. And I don't really have, well, I have loose leaf paper, which I used for my math quiz the other day because I didn't want to have to fight with my iPad. Didn't want to have any issues with the technology while trying to remember math at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to use loose leaf. And it worked out great. I actually did okay on that first quiz, so that's great. There was a few that I made some stupid mistakes on, but a couple of the mistakes were some entry issues. So, like, I had the right answer, but not the right units. So that was unfortunate. But yeah, I'm gonna open this up. So this is the scanner that I set up. So this is the computer that I use. So when you're using the pharmacy software, community pharmacy software, it's called Kroll that we use for community pharmacy in our labs. It takes up a whole screen. Like it has to be in full screen or it won't work properly. And honestly, like you have too small of a screen and you can't see it properly, that takes up a full screen. So I've got Zoom over on that computer, my Kroll, which I did last year too. So I Kroll and then I had this computer. The difference is I technically have a fourth screen this year. They tell us that two should be enough, two is not enough. And then I also actually got to use my camera today. I was struggling a little bit with technology and they're like, oh, can you show me your screen? And I'm just like, okay, I gotta do this a little bit differently than other people do this because so I have to like lift this up and then show them my screen like that, basically. This is what was my second screen for the longest time, but now it's basically like where the research is. It's quite the setup, honestly. I'm just gonna turn this off again just because I don't need it right at the moment. The nice thing is, though, is that it's pretty quick and easy to set everything up. I'm gonna go do some studying now. I've got 2 PowerPoints to go through for this products class. I actually don't have any math worksheets to do. We didn't really get there today. Everything is actually going quite well so far this semester. We're starting to get into a bunch of evaluations. I mean, it's kind of a constant evaluation in this program anyways. Like there's certain things all the time that it's not like there's a specific period of just midterms. It's a lot of unit quizzes and stuff like that. I gotta look and see what's next week actually. I know that in lab it's gonna be busy because we've got first QA/QC, which is the checking prescriptions. Thursday we got the first time comp, and then we've also got to do 2 prescriptions each day that day. So those are gonna be long days. I've also got to do a Pixis training module or modules for the one class. So there's lots of stuff to do. There's been a couple of days this week where I would rather have done work and studied, but you get to a certain point and there's just, if your head is hurting or you're feeling wiped out, there's really no point in doing much extra work because you're not going to get any benefit out of it. All right, everyone. So it's about 12:40-ish on Friday. I would just wanted to come on here and end the vlog for the week. Today was a pretty easy day. Just had one class and all we did was work on a group project. So I've been thinking about whether I need to make an assignment tracker because the problem is that although we kind of get our major assignments and dates given to us like at the start of the semester, there's a lot of like little things that get assigned or that we get told we should try to work on. I think it would be easier if I made a tracking sheet that would be able to track it by day also and to like know that this is done or this needs to be a priority because it's the next thing. It's just so hard to keep track of everything. I think I'm gonna try working on that over the weekend. I have a feeling that some of these like little activities are gonna slip through the cracks if I don't have it on something that I can keep track of everything. I finished up some Pixis training today. We had to go through a few modules on a training website and then submit the certificate. So I finished that up. So that's great. It feels good getting that done. It was just one of those assignments that was just assigned. And like if you don't write some of these things down, you like forget it. I also pretty much feel like I'm ready to submit my sociology assignment. I worked on that this morning because that's what we had on our schedule, was to work on sociology. I kind of wish I could have gotten through more of the textbook and stuff, but by the time I got that done, I only had like 5 or 10 minutes before I had to like go set up for being in my actual Zoom meeting for class. So I just decided I'll just take a break, worry about sociology at another time. I feel like I'm a little bit ahead with it, but I don't really know. The nice thing is that there's a lot of open book tests this year, so that's quite nice in a way. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I might show more of me working today, I might not. Day in, day out, pretty much very similar. I almost like it being similar though, because then that way things that are weird are not happening. So I'd almost rather be boring so that I don't have any other issues. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye everyone.